Hi, and welcome to a new episode of the Tryhard Experience. In today's episode, I will be discussing the difference between how I, and I assume many of you, spend your gaming time compared to how other traditional athletes spend their time while trying to maximize their performance. When you look at high-performing athletes and successful business people, they have a few common denominators. Ronaldo stays after practice and does free kicks. Kobe did free throws, i.e. they spend more time practicing than the other teammates. Yes, they have tremendous skill and talent, but they had the discipline to cultivate and develop their talent. Looking at business people, you often hear that they wake up early to get things done before everybody else's day starts, either working on their own project or front load their workday by answering all emails before other people are even awake. I've also read the same thing in regards to people who weight train. You can't control your day or evening, especially with a family. Things can happen, you get tired, your daughter gets sick, you need to stay late at work, whatever. But if you wake up early before everybody else, you can control your mornings and you can control your time. So, how do we apply all this to esports and in my case to Overwatch? I currently have one dedicated gaming night, that's Tuesday nights. You can catch me live on facebook.com/alldirtygamers with the Z and 1D at 19:30 Central European Time. I'll put links in the description. On this night, I get about 4 hours of dedicated gaming time. On a good week, I'll probably get 5 to 10 additional gaming hours sporadically throughout the week. So for me, there are two main questions or two main problems. One, how do I increase gaming hours without sacrificing my family? Two, how should I be spending my gaming times? Practice versus comp games, etc. The only answer I see to the first question is to get up earlier in the morning. I'm not a morning person by any means. Having a child has really put this to the test because she can wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and just have to get up. To give some context, I really love sleeping. 20 years ago, when I was playing Counter-Strike 1.6 and trying to be a pro, I was call it a semi-pro. I was in high school. If I didn't get 8 hours of sleep, I would not go to school. I would turn off my alarm and I would sleep until I wake up. Because the most important thing for me was that the scrims during that night would be as good and as effective as possible. Also, not getting enough sleep will decrease your performance in basically anything you do. So does being dehydrated and a lot of other factors, but I will discuss them in another episode. The second question is a bit more complex, but there are some lessons or behaviors we can take from traditional sports. Let's look at, for instance, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I have been training for almost 10 years now. Where I train, a typical session is warm-up for about 15 minutes, where we do a lot of exercises that are movements that you use in different techniques and in live sparring. Then we do some sort of drilling, both for cardio and getting better at that movement. And these drills are the same as with the warm-up. They are specific to the jiu-jitsu sparring or jiu-jitsu techniques. After this, we train a specific technique, often a very limited subset of technique, since it's hard to retain a lot of new information and you need to get reps in to be able to perform the move in a live sparring session. Then at the end, we do sparring, or as we call it, rolling. I can't tell you how many times I felt I will never be able to do this move. My body won't move that way. I don't understand the mechanics of the move. It takes me ages to perform the move. But after weeks and months of practicing it, spending a few minutes every training sessions, it becomes part of my repertoire and I'm able to execute it fast in live sparring. Out of the 90 minutes we are training, 15 to 20 minutes are spent on sparring. If we translate this to Overwatch and a 3-hour gaming session, I should spend 2 hours and 20 minutes doing different practice exercises and 40 minutes playing competitive games. This doesn't sound like a fun gaming night at all to me. If we look at the time I've spent in Overwatch, it's 90% competitive games and 10% quick play. My philosophy for the first few years was just to play competitive games because you want to practice in the competitive realm, because you don't want to get accustomed to people not caring or people being worse than they are in competitive. But it's a really bad mindset, and especially when I was learning new heroes or practicing new things, I would lose a tremendous amount of SR. So for the next 2 weeks, I will set my alarm to 1 hour earlier than before, and I will spend that hour doing aim training and probably some weightlifting as well. It's important to keep your body in good health and condition to be able to focus and performing better. I'll discuss that in another episode, but now with the queue times being what they are, I will also get in some extra practice in the training range while waiting for games. So it will probably be more than 30 minutes a day. My theory is if I actively and regularly spend time on my aim and mechanics, it will improve tremendously. A famous quote is, people overestimate what can be accomplished in 1 year, but underestimate what can be accomplished in 3 years. So if I can keep some sort of consistency in my aim training, since I plan on playing FPSs for many years to come, it will be very interesting to see how good my aim can be in 3 years. I will spend my time both in the Kovacs Aim Trainer and in the PMA Jealous Workshop, which is a custom map of the training range where you have Widows, Lucios, Pharahs, Mercies, Tracers, and many things you can shoot at that come at you from different angles. I will leave a link in the description below. He has a good YouTube channel showing all the features, and even the Big Boss Pine has a video showing how he uses Kovacs Aim Trainer, and almost every aim training video I can find somehow mentions Kovacs, and it seems like a lot of fun. There's a lot of different modes, and you can set it to Overwatch settings, so your FOV and sense and everything will be directly translated into Overwatch settings, so it will be the same, which is very important. I will probably do a follow-up episode on this in 2 weeks or so, where I will give my thoughts and results. Aim, mechanics, and time partitioning will be a recurring theme in this series, because I think it's the most important thing to get success over time. I hope you liked this episode and it gave you a different perspective on how to approach your own schedule and time management within your esport or sport or life. You can follow me on facebook.com/alldirtygamers. I'll put a link in the description along with all other resources I've been discussed in this episode. I stream every Tuesday night at 19:30 Central European Time. Come by and say hi and share any tips you might have on improving your aim, or leave a comment below. Take care.